Welcome again, people, listeners, everybody, to the TIZZ Talk podcast, episode 5. We're going to call this one Nobody Beats the TIZZ. Why are we calling that? I really don't know. I just thought it was a cool name. If anybody knows anything about Seinfeld, Nobody Beats the Wiz. Seen The Wolf of Wall Street? He goes and tries to find a new job after he gets fired. At the very beginning of the movie, he comes across a newspaper article. It says nobody beats the Wiz. Anyway, nobody beats the TIZZ. That's the truth, okay? I'm your host, Chuck TIZZ, a.k.a. Taylor S., and I have my co-host, Ruben, with me tonight. We're going to go over some really cool and really important topics this evening. Ruben, what's going on?
What's going on, Taylor? Thanks for having me.
You're always welcome to be on my show. Always. Man, this week's been really crazy. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Politically, I think, and just in our own lives.
I mean, actually, yes. It's actually been a pretty hectic week as far as like life-wise and definitely politically as well.
I mean, you can kind of hear it in our voices. Like we're tired.
Yeah.
Or maybe not so much me.
I've had nights this week where, I guess you could say I've gotten minimal sleep just because,
Yeah, because
life gets busy and work gets hard. And
work and, these bombings and the stock market and, shit like, dumb news like Meek Mill making too much money in a casino. Stuff like that. That's what we talk about. Anyway, so thanks for listening and thanks for tuning in, guys. We love the fact that we're getting so much attention to this show. I'm loving it. I have fun doing it. Keep listening if you like it. If you don't, fuck off. No. If you don't, keep listening. Maybe you will like it. But
eventually, you will like it.
You just got to get used to the TIZZ's attitude, and the attitude is I really just don't care about anything. And no, I do care about a lot of things, but I don't do things because I want to make other people happy. I do things the way I do things, and that just makes people happy, or it pisses them off. And we've just gone off on a complete tangent at this point, haven't we, Ruben?
Maybe you did a little bit.
A little bit. Okay, all right. I'm used to doing that. So, anyways, for anybody who hasn't been paying attention to the news, and trust me, I don't blame you for not paying attention to the news because it is a bunch of bullshit. But you had to have obviously heard about the, as we talked on our past episode when, Trump bombed Iraq and killed the second in command in Iran. Well, Tony, a.k.a. Too Woke to Go Broke, shout out to Unlock, you know what I'm saying? He even mentioned that, a retaliation was going to happen, but nobody really knew when. And, of course, retaliation did happen. And if you don't know, I'm telling you, retaliation happened yesterday, which would have been January 8th, Wednesday, around 2 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm not really sure what time that is in Iran, Iraq. But let me tell you what happened.
No, you know that. That's crazy.
I mean, I think it's a 9-hour difference.
Anyways,
it's besides the point. It was nighttime over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's really the big takeaway of time, which doesn't really even matter anyway. What we're getting at is around 2 o'clock yesterday, supposedly Iran, fires missiles at U.S. targets in Iraq, at their bases. And so let me tell you a quick short story. I heard about this from Jared that you guys have heard on the show. He calls me and tells me what's going on. I'm like, what? I turn on news and literally, I'm watching it. And a friend of ours had this piqued our interest, or piqued my interest, one, just because of what was going on, which kind of didn't make sense. And I'm going to kind of explain why it did make sense to me. And this has to do with the stock market more than anything. And it has to do with the situation. Basically, what I'm getting at is 2 o'clock hits, and a buddy of Jared's invested in this stock. Okay, I'm not going to name the stock. I'm not going to name the company, but let's just call it an energy stock. It was an energy company, and they had gone through some issues earlier in the year, and he had decided to invest in them, earlier in the year or late last year, and for reasons of seeing that this, the stock was at a very low and that it was going to go up after this, situation took place. Not going to say it's an acquisition and merger, Chapter 11. Not going to get into any of those details. But what I'm getting at is this kid invests into this stock, and then all of a sudden these bombs go off, right, on American bases in Iraq around 2:00 yesterday. And the stock, this one particular energy stock, rose like instantaneously. It was already rising from what was going on in the prior weeks. It went up like 70%, right? Because of the bombings. So I was a little tripped out about it because I'm like, wait a minute. So we just got bombed. Yeah, they retaliated, and energy stocks were up. Oil was up, I think by 5%. A lot of things like went up, but like this one specific stock wasn't the highest. It didn't make the most gains in the entire market, but it went up 70% or so, give or take, plus or minus, whatever. But whatever, it made some gains, like serious gains, like beyond other oil/energy companies' gains that day, which kind of was like a red flag for me. It's like, why this company? Like, why is all of a sudden this one going up? Is there some type of, am I going to be a conspiracy theorist again right now? Kind of. But it doesn't make sense why one of them skyrocketed so much over all the other companies that are out there. I don't care if it's upstream, downstream, midstream. It doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is it just didn't make sense. And also what did make sense to me is that you see these stocks rise, okay, because Iran shoots these missiles. So energy's up. And basically, at this point, it's like, okay, how do you think about this? How do you honestly think about the way this has gone down? You had a murder, basically, a couple, like 5 days ago, when we killed the second in command in Iran, but he was in Iraq at the time, right?
Yeah.
So big publicity stunt, as Tone Loc said, Tony T, too woke to go broke, whatever you want to call him. He made a good point. He's like, it makes Trump kind of look like a superhero. And it does, because he's like, it's election year. It's like, we're not playing around. We're going to bomb the shit out of publicity stunt. And election years are always kind of crazy. If you haven't noticed in the past, there's kind of a trend. Just look up American history, or just type in like election year history, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
There's so much about this upcoming election that's crazy.
Well, I mean,
like
so every 4,
worth.
yeah, so Ruben's right. Every 4 years, when we have an election year, whether it's an incumbent, running again or not, it always really kind of ruffles the feathers in almost every industry, because they're like, well, we don't know what's going to happen.
Even the Houston city election was...
Well, I mean, but that's local government, and that's
but still,
no. It's important. I mean, whatever
politics.
city you live in, people go vote. Like, go vote for your local.
They were using Donald Trump though to make the one candidate look bad. They were calling him a Donald Trump. Tony Bugsby. They were calling him a Donald Trump impersonator and his biggest supporter.
Well, because Tony Busby.
Yeah.
For y'all that don't live in Houston, Tony Busby is basically the Donald Trump of Houston. Okay, he is. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying
politics got so dirty.
Okay, politics got so dirty? You mean politics has always been dirty?
Yeah, it's always been dirty, but like,
dude, it's a bunch of puppets. It's a bunch of puppets getting pulled by strings by people like corporations that have money that help influence the decision.
Billions to make.
But again, look,
Super Bowl
guys. Sorry, we're going off tangent. Okay, we need to stay on focus. We gotta stay focused. Okay, so. Again, going back to the whole Iran thing, and here's my opinion on it, guys. And you can take it or with a grain of salt, or you can not take it and leave your comments and say, "I think you're wrong, Chuck," and I'll respond back and say, "Cool, tell me why." But my opinion, it just this whole thing seems fishy to me, and I'm gonna explain why it seems fishy to me, especially with that one stock that went up. Right, I feel like there's some internal thing going on between that company and what happened for it to be the only stock that took that type of gain, right? Now, everybody was going crazy, like, oh, man, tomorrow the stocks are going to open up so much higher, after the markets closed, like the pre-markets. And I woke up the next morning super early, and I turned on the TV, and I looked, and, like, there was a statement saying that, and this is, you got to remember, this is news coming from Fox News or CNN, and they were saying that Iran, basically, they think that this was just they shot the missiles at American bases in Iraq that were known to be empty or known to be non-occupied at the time. So it was almost like a sign of...
I thought they were like known to be occupied by American forces.
They claimed at one point to say that 80 Americans were killed. Now, right now, America is saying no casualties have happened, or they haven't found any. Now,
there wasn't any at first.
Okay.
They were claiming.
But what I'm getting at is you can't believe what the goddamn mainstream media is telling you. You can listen to it; it'll inform you. Yes, this is happening, but then you take that and you go on the internet, or you go do whatever you want to do, but you look it up yourself and use multiple sources or resources to come up with your own conclusion. Because if you just take the point of one or two shows that you're watching on TV, you got to realize these people are paid to say what they say. Like, if they don't say what they're paid to say, they get fired. And they have a heavy influence on politics. So
They have a teleprompter.
they have a teleprompter.
You gotta follow the teleprompter.
Well, that is the case, but that's beyond the point. The point is I think this whole thing smells a little bit, and I think it smells a little bit for a certain reason. Okay, Trump... We killed the second in command in Iran, who's been a pretty big pain in our ass for quite a while. I mean, I don't even know. And then, I don't know, was it 4 days? I think it was 4 days later. Then all of a sudden you have this bomb strike in the middle of our afternoon, which was their night. And supposedly, they claim people were killed. Now the American government's saying nobody was killed. And we don't know. We really just don't know. I haven't seen anything about anybody confirming any kills at all.
There hasn't been.
Exactly. So again, here comes the fishiness. It's like, okay, did Iran really think that they could bomb a U.S. base and we were just going to let it go, and not retaliate? No.
Of course not.
Right. So I don't want to go into a conspiracy theory thing here, but what I'm trying to say is
But we didn't read that.
go a little deeper into your mind and think about this. And this is kind of what I don't necessarily think, but it's just like an idea that I kind of, after hearing everything, I think this is a possibility that Iran honestly had nothing to do with these missile strikes. That this was potentially done by us to make it look like Iran attacked us for several reasons. Maybe one being to drive up stock prices, or two, false flag, just like we talked about before, to go to war with them. But Iran's claiming that they did it. But you got to remember at the end of the day, at the end of the night, I guess I'm saying at the end of the day, that even though these countries, we don't, in the public's eye, kind of coexist with each other, there's these background deals that are going on. And if you don't think these background or, behind the scenes deals are going on, these things are being done, they're orchestrated, they're planned out by professional, government agents. You're dealing with these, people that, I'm losing my words. But people, you understand what I'm saying, right? Okay, if you don't understand what I'm saying and you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't care if you don't agree with me. Ruben, do you agree with anything I'm saying?
Just today, Donald Trump got on there and,
That was yesterday, by the way.
They agreed to do a de-escalation or whatever.
Yeah, but Trump spoke yesterday. That wasn't today.
Okay, yeah. I'm saying that just the Prime Minister...
It's Thursday, by the way, guys. We're dropping this on Friday. Sorry. That's why I say yesterday, so it doesn't confuse
The Prime Minister from Iran came out at first and was claiming that 80 Americans were confirmed killed. That was all a bunch of BS. I don't think it ever really happened. we're coming out saying that there's 0 deaths. Because I'm just saying.
Well, wait a bit, but again, nothing's been confirmed on either side.
I'm pretty sure.
No. Americans are saying that.
I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed.
No. There is nothing that says it has been confirmed.
Americans never said that. Iran said it.
I know. No. You misunderstood what I'm saying. You're saying originally Iran came out and said that at least 80 were killed. And then that was not confirmed. And also the Americans came back and said that nobody was killed. And that also hasn't been confirmed.
Are you sure?
Yes. I've looked at every goddamn news page I could to find this, and we haven't been able to see any of it. Now, if I'm wrong, please, guys, comment on my Instagram page at the TIZZ Talk Podcast, or my personal page at Chuck TIZZ, T-I with 2 Z's. Or you can just honestly just leave a note on Apple Podcast or whatever, and I'll respond. But honestly, the kind of crazy thing about this whole thing, though, and this is, we're staying on topic here a little bit, is that the flight from the Ukrainian flight, it was Ukrainian International Airlines flight PS752, in the same time frame that these missiles supposedly were shot from Iran, went down. Okay, it went down, and I don't know where it was flying over. Hang on, I'll tell you. I can tell you.
I didn't know that it got hit by a missile.
There's different. Well, we don't know that for sure, but here's what this is what the news is saying, and I'm going to source it. This is Vice News. I kind of trust Vice News more than Fox and CNN, but Vice has gotten to the point where they're so big, they're on HBO and shit. It's like they're getting paid to say what they say too. You really got to go into the deep underground to find your real sources. But
I heard about it on the news, not from Vice, and they said that it just mysteriously crashed.
Okay. That's fine. The news is gonna say every.
I know, and I'm a sucker. I turn my TV on and I'm getting ready and just catch basic headlines, and then I'll look into it later.
I hear you, and that's what you should do. I mean, if you don't have time to focus on it at that time, you do it later.
Yeah, but I don't want to get
it. So on Vice News, this was dropped today, a little bit around noon. Vice News says U.S. believes Iran shot down the Ukrainian jet by mistake. Intelligence officials believe an Iranian Tor M1 surface-to-air missile struck the plane, killing 176. And now that's confirmed. This happened. I mean, this airplane did crash. Whether it was shot down by a missile or not, 176 lives were lost. Okay? I don't know how many Americans were on that flight. I'm pretty sure I can find out, but... Well, regardless, it just seems kind of coincidental, right? I don't know. These missiles go off, a plane gets blown up. They're saying that it happened from the missiles on accident, but at the same time, is it even? Does any of this make any sense? It just seems, it smells fishy to me. It smells like there's a. Not to say it hasn't been in place already. And there always has been corruption and things that the government does. But I think something is going on. It just does. There's too many coincidences for it to be. It's almost like. I'm not going to say it's almost like 9/11. But when I say it's almost like 9/11, I mean it's almost like there's too many coincidences. When the first tower got hit, they thought it was an accident. Then they see the second tower, and it's okay, this might not be an accident in the Pentagon, and it's okay, these things start to go and go and go and go. And then, basically, they go and they go and they go, and as the storyline progresses, it starts to sound more fishy. And I guess at that point, now you guys are up to speed, what's going on, who knows what's going to happen next. But... what I am getting at is I think we need to move on to the next segment. And I'm going to let Ruben kind of jump in on this because he's literally fucking silently yelling at me. I don't even know how it's possible, but he's silently yelling at me.
That's funny because I was actually yelling at his iPad mini. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys, I have an iPad mini and a computer.
I was just yelling because I stumbled upon something.
He's
random.
like, he found something he wants to talk about, and I know what he wants to talk about. I think it's actually a good thing to talk about. It's funny.
We were gonna hop into this later, but yeah, we were gonna hop into this a little bit later. Gotta get used to talking up to the mic, but I don't know if any of y'all heard this, but way off topic. Meek Mills won so much money at a casino.
If you guys can't hear him, he's saying Meek Mill, not Meek Mills.
Sorry.
The rapper, Meek Mill.
Meek Mill, the rapper, basically won so much at the casino that they could not.
But he wasn't
pay him
alone.
off.
Who was he with?
He
was with Young Thug.
Young Thug.
And what did I say about Young Thug? I can't understand a fucking word that guy says when he raps, and I fucking hate his ass. For that reason. If you guys are Young Thug fans, sorry, you suck.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of a song by them. But anyway, yeah, I just thought it was
Shout out
pretty
the
funny.
Reverend. I shooted the Reverend.
Anyways, man, regardless of who they were, I just thought it was funny that a casino wouldn't have enough to pay people off at their blackjack tables. I've been trying to figure out what hotel it was. They won too much, so the casino could not pay them off. They couldn't pay enough money.
Ruben, bad storyteller. Oh my God! Did you hear, guys? Did you not listen? He basically said, we corrected you on his name, and you said he lost money. He won money in a casino, and they didn't have enough to pay him off. I'm like, wait, what? Go into more detail a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
Talking about
What happened? He was with Young Thug.
Which we established.
But then you just went, they couldn't pay him. I'm like, wait a minute,
yeah,
you gotta explain all
I was
that.
trying to figure out what hotel would, especially in Vegas, would not have enough money on hand to pay these guys. And I look it up, and it's the Cosmopolitan, and that's what I was like excited and freaking out about. That the Cosmopolitan wouldn't be able to have enough money on hand to pay them out.
Is it the Cosmopolitan?
It was the Cosmopolitan. That's what I've been trying to figure out.
The Cosmopolitan in Vegas? Or is this Atlantic City? Is this... I'm just curious, and I can look it up.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Cosmo. I mean...
Okay.
Regardless.
First of all, who cares where it happened? Whether it was in Vegas, it was at the Cosmopolitan.
Maybe not.
Wait,
correct us if we're wrong.
Wait, you don't know that? You don't even know if it's at the Cosmopolitan? What the fuck is
weird? He has a history. He has history.
This guy. Okay, this guy.
Dude.
Hey guys, we're gonna. I guess we're gonna take a quick break to shout out to our sponsor real quick. Okay. That sponsor also being Anchor, which is the reason and the way that I am actually recording this right now. So enjoy this little segment of me shouting out to Anchor. All right, so thank you, Anchor. And so just back to the topic of the whole Meek Mill thing at the casino. I've done a lot of searching on the web, and I think they're actually keeping the casino that this happened at under wraps because they owe him money because
we can't find him.
we haven't been able to. So basically, I mean, here's a quote.
He posted an Instagram photo.
Well, they both. So they both did. So Meek Mill posted an Instagram photo of him with a shit ton of $100,000 chips. The orange chips, I believe, are. It doesn't matter. A lot of money's on the table. We're talking millions and millions of dollars. Okay, that's what they're gambling with. At some casino, they won't say which because obviously the casino couldn't pay out. This is what he.
We could actually read it on the table, but the chips, his stack of chips, are covering like the two first letters, so we have no idea.
Well, it's the Hamar. I think it's the Hamar, or the Hamar Casino. Here, look that up. Try to find that real quick. Just type in here. I'm gonna type in like Hamar Casino. I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna do a little research right now. No, not here it is. Well, okay, anyways. Ruben's going to look it up. I'm going to continue talking. Well, anyways. We don't know what casino it is, guys. But Meek Mill posted an Instagram photo of like a shitload of money on his hands at a blackjack table. And his comment, typical Meek Mill. It says one hand with the gang, ... And then, the black-faced emoji guy with his hands going up like this. Like, I don't know. And then, not too much longer after that, Meek Mill posted another Instagram photo with a comment saying, won so much the casino couldn't pay the tab. Hashtag no bab. What does that mean?
He spelled tag. I think he spelled tab wrong. I think
pay the tab.
Yeah, I know. Oh shit, I don't know what the fuck.
No BAP. I don't really understand what that means. Let's see what that takes us to.
Hashtag no BAP.
Yeah, no BAP. No BAP. Okay, so it's just a bunch of
people striking.
Yeah, it's a bunch of just like rapper poses. But what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. No BAP? Hang on. I'm gonna type it in. Guys, I'm sorry. We're gonna drag this out a little bit longer. What does hashtag NAB mean? It means... Hang on. It's not the National Australian Bank, that's for sure. maybe it was. Was it even in the U.S.?
That probably not. I mean, he travels so much. He's on tour.
There's so many acronyms for NAB. There's so many acronyms for NAB that it's like I can't figure it out. Okay, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Fucking Meek Mill and Young Thug won so much money at a casino somewhere around the world at this point. I'm thinking it might not even be in this country.
Yeah.
That the casino couldn't even pay up. Okay, they couldn't pay. They could not cash the bag. And I don't really know. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I mean, obviously they're going to take care of it, I would assume, but they must have, I mean, casinos, this is why I think it's an out of country or like an Indian casino or something maybe, because if you think about it, most casinos have like hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion on deck to pay out if they have to.
Yeah, I was
thinking especially like on Vegas, or Atlantic City, or New Orleans, or somewhere in Louisiana.
Or a heavy night, like you were saying.
Well, or it could be, they could have been in China. They could have been in Hong Kong. I don't know. That's the thing. That's the problem. We don't know where it was, but regardless, they couldn't pay up, and so I don't know how that works internationally. I don't honestly know how that works nationally, but. It's funny that this is, I never really liked Meek Mill.
Headline news.
It's I guess it's headline news, but it's Meek Mill's always been like someone to me that I never really dug his music too much. Not that I didn't like his lyrics, I really just don't like his voice. And Young Thug, I just don't like. I know people who love Young Thug, and I'm like, excuse me, I just don't understand. Because I'm like I try and listen to his music, and I just don't understand what he's saying. Not a fucking word. It's all auto-tune, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I respect the dude. I mean, he's making that money, homie. Fam, like that dude is making cash. Like, apparently he's making enough cash where he can't cash out. Casinos can't cash him out, but. He also refused to comment on the situation. Meek Mill is the only one who said anything.
I mean, it's just so they probably told him not to say anything so they would get paid.
So basically, since we're talking about Meek Mill, I'd like to kind of jump a little bit into the music scene. Drake dropped that really long interview like a week ago or so on, I think it was on YouTube. It was on YouTube? I don't even know. It's called, I'll tell you right now what it's called. Sorry, guys. You know me. I kind of have a short-term memory problem. It's okay. We'll figure it out. But it's a 2.5 hour long interview of Drake. It came out January 1st. Drake.
I didn't even know about this
interview. Yeah, I just forgot the name of it. But it's like a 2.5 hour interview.
Well, it's like
it's called Rap Radar. So Rap Radar interviewed Drake for 2.5 hours, and I haven't even Well, apparently it says I watched the whole thing, but I obviously fell asleep.
I was about to say
I fell asleep. I mean, but
YouTube is showing a full red bar
on my account. but I didn't finish it, and I barely even probably got to the beginning of it. But if you want to listen to Drake talk for 2.5 hours, by all means, go ahead and do it. I'm not gonna do it. Okay, I'm gonna reiterate this because I've said this before, but not on the TIZZ Talk podcast. Drake, I do respect him as a musician. He's probably the top dog right now, man. I mean, I think he's probably done bigger numbers than Wayne. I'm not gonna lie. I think he has. His fucking mentor. But that being said, Drake, you're 33 years old. You just turned 33 when? What? October 24th. You were born in 1986, right? Oh, wait. So I was born October 21st, 1986. But he claims to be October's very own. Well, how is that possible? I'm 3 days older than the motherfucker. Anyways, Drake, cut the check. No, I mean, I do respect the dude. That's just me, just like, he says he's October's very own. Obviously, he's not October's very own. Yes, the guy is almost a billionaire probably at this point. But I think that, I'm just a cooler guy than that guy. He's Jewish. I'm Jewish. He's Canadian. I'm not Canadian. He's white. I'm white. He's black. I'm not black. So we have two things in common. We have two things in common. And we share a very similar birthday. So off Drake. We're not talking about Drake anymore. Bye, Drake. But what's been going on in the music scene though lately though, right? We've talked about. We haven't really talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine so much anymore. I mean, we did in like one of our first episodes that we got rid of because
he's getting out finally.
Yeah, well, so Tekashi did. So if anybody doesn't know anything about Tekashi 6ix9ine is like this Mexican-looking Asian guy rapper that has like the rainbow-colored hair, and he got popped with like all these weapons and like drugs and just all this shit, and like was facing so much time, and he started basically snitching on every single person. He was facing up to, I believe it was 80 years in prison. But his sentence has been reduced now down to 2, I believe, because of how much information. Maybe it's 20 years in prison. Maybe 80 was a stretch. I don't know. It doesn't matter. He was sentenced to a lot of time, and basically he snitched on his former colleagues in the drug world or whatever, and the funny thing is it's all public, so it's like, dude, I mean, come on, man. Okay, he gets 2 years. He's either gonna get murdered in prison because you know how that shit goes, or they're gonna have him in protective custody in prison. Maybe. I hope they don't because the guy's trash and he probably just needs to be put down. But even if he makes it through 2 years of prison, he snitched on so many people, and these are high-level people, like, people that you don't snitch on.
How much time do the people that he snitched on get?
Oh, I don't even think it's gone that far yet. Oh. I don't know. Maybe it has. But regardless, he did what he did. He's a rat. And if you're a rat, you're a snitch. Snitches get ditches. Snitches get stitches. Snitches are bitches. Even if he gets out, I mean, he'd have to go into protective custody. And he's going to have to change the color of that fucking hair. And cut it, probably. But.
He's probably going to shave it off. Who knows?
Well, it doesn't. Okay. I think, like we talked about this before, I think that as soon as he's out, if he gets out alive, he won't last very long. Personally, in my opinion. Unless he goes into protective custody, and it might give him like an extra year. But I still think they'll find him.
His best bet's to just go ahead and leave the country.
They'll still find him, man. These people will find you, But just in the music world, there's a couple things going on. Talk about it real quick. I know that Nicki Minaj, there's like an article about her wearing her Madame Tussauds wax figure, or sorry, not wearing her wax figure at the wax museum. Like, was pretty identical. Like, this is so stupid. Why are we talking about this? And then there's So and apparently, if you haven't noticed, Trey won't stop posting pictures of himself on Instagram with his newly pierced ears.
Dude, they make
which is like, dude, I had my ears pierced, both of them. They're still pierced. This is crazy, guys. I pierced my ears, both my right and my left, and sometimes I wore hoops, sometimes I wore studs, sometimes I wore fake diamonds, right? Because I was like that kid, that guy, like when I was like 18, I wore the fake diamonds, studs, whatever. But anyways, I haven't put an earring in my ears in I think it's been a decade. And they're still pierced. I can still put an earring to them. I don't get it. They won't close up. But anyways, Drake apparently, he's my age now, just got his ears pierced, so he won't stop talking about it. Dude, or posting pictures about it.
The Nicki Minaj wax thing, wasn't that funny? Because they were talking about it, and they're like, her face is way off, but her body apparently is spot on and stuff like that.
Well, because I think the wax model was made off of her body from 2015, which is about almost 4 or 5 years ago.
Is there any truth behind Willie Nelson quitting smoking weed?
I mean, dude, this is all just fucking music news. I mean, who knows? You honestly think
Willie Nelson was going to stop smoking weed?
No,
but,
no.
Vice,
literally, the 86-year-old Willie Nelson. There's an article that says, "Relax, Willie Nelson has not quit weed." Thank you, Willie Nelson. Keep firing up them fucking joints. Keep firing up them baseball bats.
When I heard that, man, that's funny. That was a while ago when I heard that.
Hey, man, keep firing up the bangers. Keep firing up. Just keep them doobies rolling. It's all good, Willie. It's all good. Don't let the haters hate.
How could Willie Nelson?
Look, the 86-year-old country icon may no longer be smoking cannabis, but he's definitely still getting high, is what they're saying. Maybe he's eating maybe he's eating edibles.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's what it is. Who cares? As long as you're getting high, then it's all good, right? I mean, if that's what you want to do, if you want to get high,
that smoking will mess with your throat and your lungs and whatever. But eat an edible and you're good.
I'm not gonna say I've eaten an edible or I haven't. Most of you probably know if I have or haven't. But all I know is edibles, man, they're intense if you take enough of them. Yeah. From what I've heard.
Yeah. Apparently.
I mean, they last a long time from what I've heard. Anyway, so Death Row Records was sold recently, which is kind of random. I mean, I didn't even know Death Row was still doing anything. I didn't even know it was still around. Hasbro now just acquired them. Hasbro's a toy company, by the way.
Yeah, what?
So yes, the toy company behind My Little Pony now officially owns the rights to the most iconic album from Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Which is crazy because Death Row, owns The Chronic.
Imagine
Death Row owns Snoop's and Pac's biggest album. So now a toy company, Hasbro, who made wrestling figures and dolls and shit, now they own that? What? That was like when Michael Jackson owned all the Beatles stuff. And wouldn't give it to him. That. That's great. What the fuck? I'm learning about this right now. I'm kind of baffled by it. Holy shit. There's a lot of stuff going on in the music world, guys. I don't want to get too deep into it. So those are kind of just the main points I really wanted to post out. Other than that, we got some stuff going on in the world today that we've already kind of talked about, as far as the rockets going off and all that and Iran and stuff. But
speaking of rockets.
Okay, well, go ahead. Oh, speaking of rockets,
speaking of rockets.
So the game's over, right?
Man,
is it still running?
For all you Houston fans that listen to the show, the Rockets got wrecked tonight.
Yeah, the Thunder just killed us.
Destroyed us. I can't believe it.
Yeah, just I guess we weren't watching the TV
this, and it's been bad.
I mean, the TV's on, we just weren't paying attention. But yeah, the Thunder just beat the Rockets 113-92. That is 21 points. Yeah. It's not good. They were losing the whole time, too. And it's crazy. You got Russell Westbrook that came from Oklahoma City and Chris Paul, who's now back on Oklahoma City. And you have James Harden, who was originally started in Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City just wrecked they're, it's like the battle of the old Oklahoma City players. I don't know, but fuck, that's not good for us.
Damn, that's crazy. I'm so glad
we'll go over a couple more scores. We're going to go over a couple more scores from today. I'm not going to go into yesterday. I'm going to just do today's scores real quick.
AM Hoops will have you down on that.
Well, now we already talked about AM Hoops, how they're not doing it. Casey might have an episode ready tomorrow. AM Hoops on podcast. Casey Kieran, check it out. He drops them every Friday. AM Hoops. Just check it out. But just today's scores, guys. The Pelicans and the Bulls at the Pelicans. Pelicans won 123-108. You had the Knicks and the Jazz play, and the Jazz pulled it off at home, 128-104. We already went over the Rockets, guys. God, I'm not myself. I'm repeating scores from yesterday's games. Let me start over. Okay, we already went over the Rockets and Thunder. 113-92. That just happened. That just finished. The other games that happened today, we had the Celtics at the 76ers. 76ers won at home, 109-98. You had the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference versus the Pistons. Cavaliers at the Pistons beat the Pistons in overtime, 115-112. Wow, that would have probably been a good game to watch. We got the Trailblazers at the Timberwolves. And that was the Timberwolves taking the win, the W, 116-102. We already told you about the Rockets. 4 games, interesting. The overtime game with the Cavaliers and the Pistons it's an interesting. Pistons are really, really, really good this year. I'm sorry, no, they're not. They're both pretty shitty.
That's probably why.
The Pistons are 14-25, and the Cavs are 11.
2 worst teams.
Yeah,
but still, it's a good game to watch. 115.
Yeah, 12. Rockets is pretty pathetic to watch. I was watching it earlier, and I was just like, God damn, dude, this is bad. But that's just Houston sports for you, man. It's such a roller coaster ride with us. It always is such a roller coaster ride with us. In our sports teams, football, baseball, basketball, we get there and then we just don't pull it off. That's usually the case. But they're obviously the Astros. We did win the World Series in 2017. We made it back to the World Series this year, but we did lose in Game 7,
which made no sense. Horrible. Made no sense. We definitely should have gone ahead. I mean, how did we lose 2 games at home?
Well, bro,
we should have won the World Series again. Why not?
That was a really weird series.
The city flooding.
It was no.
Just like it did in 2017.
Yeah, but look, man, the Washington Nationals. Sorry, guys, I took a bite of Reuben's sandwich. And when I say a Reuben sandwich, I took a bite of Reuben's sandwich, not a Reuben sandwich.
Yeah, it's spelled differently too. So,
because Reuben. Your name's spelled more of like in the with the Hispanic culture, way. Right? You're not. It's not like the Jewish spelt Reuben with the E.
Rubben.
Right, not Rueben. Right? Is that how it's spelled that way? Anyways, it doesn't matter. I just want to confuse you guys. I took a bite of Reuben's sandwich, not a Reuben sandwich. Because honestly, I don't like Reuben sandwiches.
No, it was a.
And I like Reuben's. I like Reuben's sandwich.
It was a po' boy from HEB.
It was Antone's.
Antone's.
Anybody who doesn't know anything about, who's not from Houston, probably doesn't know what Antone's is. But Antone's been around forever. It's kind of like this Italian deli that came about in the 50s or something, and they blew up, and then they kind of really aren't even around anymore. I think they have a couple store fronts, but most of their products are now just sold at grocery stores, like prepackaged sandwiches, and they're honestly not that good. It's a lot of bread, minimal meat, and cheese, and maybe a pickle. And they're $8. It's what?
No, $6. It was $6 and change.
So $7, whatever. But what I'm getting at is it's I wouldn't pay for that sandwich. I'd pay $7 to go pretty much eat a shitty Impossible Burger from Burger King. Anyways, off topic again once again. But yeah, some of the random things that have been going on today. the U.S. believes that Iran shot down the Ukrainian jet by mistake, not on purpose, but they believe that it was their fault. There's people are talking about raising the minimum wage in a lot of states in the country, but some experts say just raising the minimum wage across the board by just $1 could literally save lives, which I guess I agree with. But $1, I mean, it really depends on what state you live in, what city really you live in, because $1 goes much further down here in Texas and Houston than it does in New York or San Francisco or anything like that. But anyway, another report right here. I mean, Justin Trudeau says Canada believes Iran shot down Ukraine flight 752. He's not confirming if they did it on purpose. He's saying that they did, or believes, says, whatever.
Apparently Iran shot I don't know the full number of it or something, 38, 20, it's 20 to 30 missiles or whatever. It was less than 40, I believe. But they were shot, that many missiles out of their 200 and something thousand that they actually have. So it's just they could, I don't know, I guess they're saying they could have launched a lot more if they actually wanted to, but they barely launched anything. That's why they're calling it a slap in the face.
Here's a really interesting article that I just came across. It was released this afternoon by Vice under Entertainment Division. Leonardo DiCaprio living out the plot of a DiCaprio movie, rescued a drowning guy. So I don't know if they're referring to. I know they're referring to the Wolf of Wall Street. They have to be, but are they referring to the scene where the boat capsizes? And because I don't recall anybody, I don't recall Jordan Belfort, aka or Leonardo, aka saving anybody. Yeah. Or are they referring to when he saved his buddy when he was choking on that piece of ham when he took all those Quaaludes? Oh, you know what I mean? So let's read the article real quick. Hold on, let me see.
Was it breaking? Oh yeah, it's something about Jell-O.
Hold on.
No, I don't know.
Imagine this: you're raging your face off on a Club Med yacht in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, having the time of your goddamn life, when suddenly you lose your balance, topple overboard, and plunge into the ocean. No one sees you fall. No one can hear your drunken cries for help. Sheer terror grips you as the yacht keeps on plowing ahead, leaving you stranded in its wake. You try not to panic. You start treading water, convinced that pretty soon your friends are going to realize you're missing, turn around and come back and get you. 30 minutes go by, then an hour go by, then 2. There's still no sign of the boat. Now you panic. Your legs are aching. You don't know how much longer you can keep this up, right? 11 hours after you first dropped into the sea, the sun is going down.
So were they wearing a life jacket?
I don't know.
They treaded water,
and you're barely keeping your head above water. The muscles in your legs are burning, and your arms are start to feel like Jell-O. And I know what that means because I'm a surfer. I've been surfing my entire life in the Gulf Coast, California, all over the world. In fact, I'm actually going surfing tomorrow. It's supposed to be really good down in Matagorda, Texas. Water's going to be a little chilly, but it is supposed to be about overhead. When I say overhead, let's just call it 8 foot faces, and it is going to be cold and absolutely epic. Yeah. And shout out to my boy G Sone, Adam Garrison, and my boy Cody Canzanieri out of San Clemente, California. Best surfer to ever come out of Texas, by the way. My business partner. We make these Canzo surfboards. We be doing that shit. I will talk about that in a little bit later. But anyways,
this guy TIZZ saved my life surfing. True story.
Yeah, back in high school, supposedly I saved his life.
Supposedly he doesn't really know what situation I was in. He definitely saved my life. I literally had already accepted okay, this is the first stage of drowning. My arms and limbs had given out on me. So you gotta understand in the Gulf, there isn't really good surf unless there's a hurricane.
Let's not get too
you
much.
Gotta go far out. You have to go really far out. And we were in high school, and of course we'd been partying the night before, and getting back to shore was not looking.
Let's just put it this way. I'll tell you from my perspective. We all went out. I think we were 17, 18 years old. We went down to Surfside, Texas, which is about an hour 45 minutes south of Houston. It's where we grew up surfing. It's not the best waves, but it can have its days, right? And so in Texas, when the surf gets big, the continental shelf, if anybody knows what that is it's basically like the the land slopes underwater very gradually, so it doesn't get very deep very fast, which causes the waves to break very, very far out. And when they do, there's a big jetty, or what some people might call, those rock groins or whatever you call them, breakwaters. But anyway, we call them jetties. And the jetty in Surfside is a mile long. Literally, you have to walk a mile just to get to the end of it. And usually you don't have to jump off at the mile marker, but I think on this particular day, we really almost had to go all the way out there. And you have to time it right. You get on the rocks. They're slippery. It's kind of scary. And then you wait for the wave to pass. You jump at the right time. Everything's good. Well, while I'm out there surfing, and I don't know, I got a good wave. I'm coming in, and probably halfway down the jetty, maybe getting closer to the beach, I saw a board on its own. And I recognized the board. It was Ruben's board. And I...
Ghost riding the wave.
It was ghost riding the wave. I ended up grabbing it, like basically while I was still on the board. Then I got off. I stopped surfing and I saw Ruben swimming, and I, slid the board across the water. And he was in panic mode because we'd been partying the night before. And he thought he was going to drown, and apparently that was me saving his life.
I didn't think, man. I already accepted it, dude.
Yeah, he'd already accepted he was going to die, dude. I mean, I've surfed 30-foot waves across the globe, and that I have no...
It's happened to me twice, and it's been because of surfing.
Okay. We're going to... Anyways, like I said, we like to go a little bit on tangents sometimes. I am going surfing tomorrow, though. Or I'm going to drive down to go to Matagorda, Texas, and go surf shell banks with my homie G-Song. We're gonna go stay at my place down on the Colorado River, play some pool, drink some margs. Maybe some ganja will be involved. No, maybe not. I don't know, but either way, we're still gonna get up early as shit and catch the surf as the cold front hits, and it should be really good Saturday morning. So, anyways, at this point, I mean, we're going over random. We didn't really finish this story about what happened with Leonardo DiCaprio. So basically, I'm going to finish this off real quick because I didn't finish it. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging.
After going off on a long tangent, sorry.
So, this is not the plot of some new Scorsese movie or description of a bizarre dream I had once. This actually happened somehow. In late December, according to People magazine, DiCaprio was putzing around in his yacht off the coast of St. Bart's with his 22-year-old girlfriend. But he's, well, listen, DiCaprio, he's got to be like 40.
Oh, yeah, he's old.
Wow.
Leo. Puzzling around in his yacht.
Damn, dude. Leo doing things. All right,
off
man.
the coast of St. Bart's, in his yacht.
So anyways, he's off the coast of St. Bart's with his 22-year-old girlfriend putting around and a bunch of his buddies when the captain heard some drunk guy had fallen off a ship nearby. They decided to try and rescue him. And out of all the ships scouring the waters for this man, there was the only one... Theirs, meaning Leo's boat, was the only one that found him. Quote unquote, this is what he said. Quote unquote from People magazine, their efforts resulted in helping saving a man's life. The boat crew were happy to try and assist, even more so that they were able to help get the man to safety.
So was it Leo or was it the boat's crew?
No, Leo. Leo got to him.
But the thing is, maritime law states when the SOS
doesn't
is
matter
called, the closest ship has to respond.
They were. Did you not hear what I said? They all were going after him, but Leo got to him first. Okay.
I know, but I love how you said, quote, like the boat's crew were very happy to assist.
The other boat's crew, after they got to him, were happy to assist Leo.
Do you think he was he had a guy driving the boat for him?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
if he wasn't driving that.
I mean, dude, look, man. Like, I make money, okay? I'm not rich. I'm not a millionaire or anything, but, my family is well off in a sense. My dad was a very successful person. He has a really, really nice boat. And I'm going to tell you this. He ain't going to let anybody else drive it. Leo's got more money than my dad. So maybe he had someone driving the boat for him. But Leo's that, environmentalist kind of guy.
Yeah.
No, he is. I mean, dude, you see his Instagram post, dude. It's crazy. This dude is like Natural Geographic motherfucking.
I'm not saying.
Okay, what I'm getting at is, we don't know.
Of course, he wanted to.
He was with his 22-year-old girlfriend and some friends, and either he was driving or he wasn't driving, but his boat got to the man first, and then some other crew came along and they were happy to help and all that. Stupid, but like I said, we just want to go over some kind of current events, stupid things that are going on around right now. We also know the impeachment stuff still going on, guys. That's not over with, and we don't know where that's going to go. But it's kind of crazy that, at least when Bill Clinton was getting impeached, or was impeached but never had to step out of office, he was basically like on his last. He was at the very end of his second term.
Yeah.
Trump, on the other hand, is at the end, yet coming to the end of his first term, and now you got this war and you have this impeachment going on. I don't know, but I think this whole Iran thing is a big publicity stunt to make Trump look like a hero to help him win the election. That's my theory, guys, and that's just me. And I kind of got that embedded in my head from Tony, who you guys have heard talk on the show before. He kind of put that in my head, and I thought about it, and I did some research about it, and I was like, I think Tony's right. But again, that's just me I'm conspiring. I'm being a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theorist, in a sense, because I guess when you're called a conspiracy theorist, it's you going against the public news. What they're telling the national public, right? So if you are against it, you're a conspiracy theorist. Am I right about that, or am I wrong?
I
think that's right.
I get having your own opinion.
Your own opinion.
What they're telling you,
claiming some kind of crazy shit, like I just said, that I think that this maybe have been just a completely orchestrated thing to help Trump win the election. That would be a conspiracy theory. Now, is that me being a conspiracy theorist because that's going against what the news says, or is it just because I just feel that way?
Yeah, because you just feel that way.
So I'm a conspiracy theorist. What you're saying is I am a conspiracy. So meaning I'm the one who's looked at kind of in the dark because I believe differently than the news is telling me.
In the eyes of the media.
In the eyes of the media, but in the eyes of you and in the eyes of my friends.
I don't care. I don't talk about that kind of stuff.
I know you don't. But
I don't care what you think,
It's okay. You took it out of context again. Meaning, the people who are listening to the show, do you guys consider me a conspiracy theorist for thinking what I just said? Because I'm going against what the news is telling us. Or is it just me am I a conspiracy theorist because I think that this is, I'm making up a crazy story that this is all a publicity stunt to help Trump win the election? That's the question, right?
I mean, it's a conspiracy. Yeah,
it is. But so is some. But the news stories could technically be a conspiracy, right? If you don't believe them, why do you got to believe what they tell you?
Yeah.
So that's my point. I'm just
curious.
I'm glad I actually brought. Hold on a second. I'm glad you do have to have your facts, and I've said this on every episode. Do your own fucking research. Do your own due diligence. I've always said that, haven't I? Don't just believe one source.
Yeah.
Listen to everything and do your own research and make your own decisions on what you want to believe. And that's what I do. And that's why I guess you could technically call me a conspiracy theorist on this, especially on this issue. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think the news, I think the media, honestly, are the biggest conspiracy theorists. I think they make this shit up and they're paid to say it. Anyways, this is why I really hate getting into politics. Because it's crazy. So, sorry guys. Chuck TIZZ, TIZZ Talk. Just going on another tangent again. But that being said, we're going to kind of getting ready to close this segment out. With that being said, Ruben, a couple questions.
What's up?
I know this is getting old to everybody.
What kind of questions you got?
Well, just
stuff. One's like how many deaths happening?
No, we've already done that too many times.
I know.
No, but just something to help acknowledge the youth or the public. Just some statistical facts. I'm not going to repeat myself, so we'll find something new. Okay.
I'm bad at these kinds of games.
Disclaimer. You can't look.
I'm just disclaimer. I'm bad at these kinds of games.
It's just. Okay. God damn it.
Let's see.
Huh?
No, I'm saying, what do you got?
Okay. How many? What's a hectare?
Hold on, if you don't know what it is, you can't even ask.
No, but what's a hectareus? How many? What?
If you don't know what it is, you can't even.
No, it's a unit, but I don't know how many units it is. And okay. How about that? Okay, here, shut up. Just stop. Oh damn, dude, these are in. Okay. Here's a good one. Okay, Ruben. How many tons of CO2 emissions have been pumped into the atmosphere this year by cars or anything that will pump out CO2? Just take a guess. I don't expect you to get it right. This year alone. This year, start 2020. 2020. It's only been 9 days.
This year alone.
Yes, this year.
In 2020.
Yes.
How many tons? I would say like over 10, less than 20.
Tons?
I mean,
20 tons?
I'm not sure.
That's dude, 20 tons is 20 tons, dude. Okay. 20 tons is like 40,000 pounds. That's nothing.
Okay, so like
my truck can carry that. Like in like 10 times or 15 or 20 or 30, 100 times more than that. Think about that. Okay, so CO2 emissions in tons.
Oh, so
this year,
like over 100,000 easily then, right?
I hope you were looking, but yes, you're right.
I was not.
Yes, just this year alone in 2020. Right now we are at 827,826,000 and climbing very strong of CO2 emissions in tons released just in 2020. I don't really know to compare that to what from last year. I'd have to go deeper, but these are things I like to do. It's informative. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I never look into that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't either, but it's kind of cool. How about how many people in the world do you feel like are undernourished? Like don't have regular supply of food?
Oh man, millions.
Okay, well, how many millions?
I swear I saw something on this recently, and
how many millions?
I should know the answer to this.
Well, dude, it's hard. The number's always moving and changing. It's always going up. Like, just come on.
200 million.
Okay, you were not close, but you were in the 100 millions, and it is in the 100 millions.
Then it was like 600.
No, it was 840 million. 840 million. Today. 840 million unnourished people in the world. Meaning that's, just put that in perspective to about almost 8 billion people. It's a lot. Yeah, I mean, almost 1/8, basically a tenth of the population is unnourished. It's true.
Yeah, I know. So just think about fortunately.
How many people do you think died of hunger today? Today. It's been almost 24 hours.
Man.
Just from hunger.
Okay, just please tell me it's not in the millions.
No, just from hunger.
No
just from hunger. They died because they had no food.
Okay. It's not in the hundreds of millions, is it?
Dude, I mean, come on. I can't give you the answers.
So fine. Then 150 million.
You're so over. It's 29,000.
29,000.
Basically 30,000. Okay. Anyways, all right, guys, we're done with that. I just like to do these statistics. I'll actually read off a couple real quick. To be honest with you, how how much water in liters millions of liters has been used just this year alone. Used millions of liters. 106,515,000 counting strong, and these are millions of liters.
These numbers are constantly moving too, which is
well, yeah. I mean, it's like a clock.
Whatever website this is, they're not even static. Days until the end of natural gas.
Well, days till the end of oil.
Does anybody out there have an idea?
We've already talked about this though. The segment. The funny thing is, man, this is making me feel like this site's not even reliable anymore because on Christmas Eve it said 44 years, on New Year's it said 40. And Tony was like, well, at that rate, we're going to be done with oil in 25, or, in like fucking 25 days.
It's giving us more.
Now it's back to 43 years. And I think, obviously, this number is changing to new oil reserves that are discovered by the human population. So it's probably fluctuating. I don't know. Anyways, if you guys really want to dig into this, just go to worldometers.info, WORLDOmeters.info, and it will give you a list of all this stuff, and they all have sources to back up their information. Thought it was an interesting site, and I like to kind of look at it and talk to people about it and kind of inform them on what the hell's going on in the world today. Today's world population total, I'm going to leave it in with this, is 7,756,494,000 and counting strong. Basically, we're gaining 10 humans every second.
Damn.
A day.
There you go.
Right now, across the globe. So anyways, those are those statistics that I like to bullshit with. And again, guys, if you like the show, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe on anything, but if you're going to rate me and review me, it's best to do it on Apple Podcasts. Okay? But you can also find me on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Pod Pockets. Pocket Pods. I'm on all the casts. I'm on all pods. I'm out there getting it, trying to get this grind, chase the bag. It's 2020. It's the new decade. It's a good year for the Chuck. It's a good year for the TIZZ. Nobody beats TIZZ. Ruben knows that because he's known me for too long.
Way too long.
But on that note, guys, I know this was I don't know if you guys thought this was a boring episode, but I thought it was pretty informative, and I like to make sure I drop you guys some content at least by every Friday. So happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. We'll probably have a segment come out probably Sunday or Monday going over the NFL stuff and maybe see if anything's developed with the Iraq stuff. And I'm sorry, the Iran stuff, and anything else that comes up. So on that note, I'm going to say peace out. And like I always like to, I'll let Ruben say bye first.
Good night, everybody.
He is obviously tired. So good night, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you really like the show, please tell your friends about it. Share it. Spotify, I don't care. Just pass the word along. The TIZZ Talk Podcast, at TIZZ Talk Podcast on Instagram. You can check out my own personal podcast as well, at Chuck TIZZ on Instagram. Two Z's on both Instagram podcasts or Instagram names. Anyways, to end it off, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we'll be talking to you soon. Don't do anything stupid. Right.